And at this time, we go live to Venezuela, where the National Assembly is presenting its proposal for this calendar election year. Let's see.
President of the National Assembly, the Secretary General Maria, and the Subsecretary, and each one of the representative of the political fractions in the Parliament, the National Parliament, that we're seeing through the communication media with the participation in the politics to be here today. We've been seeing with a lot of satisfaction this process that has been really similar to the one that we just concluded this December with the referendum, with all the country of Venezuela participate. We have here all of us in the name of the National Council, and we greet to all the members of Venezuela. We welcome to the President, Mr. President, and to each one of you representatives and the directional board of the National Council, Electoral National Council. Welcome each one of you. Thank you very much. We welcome to Jorge Rodriguez Gomez, President of the National Assembly. Last day, February 28th, from this year, 2024, the end of a process without a precedent of the historical and political history of our country. This process that has been thriving and has been an example in the matter of a way that we have to go as Venezuelans in the matters to solve the life of the nation matters. It happened with a hard effort from the National Commission of Dialogue to name the National Assembly precisely to seek to join the country, to listen to the voice of everyone, to attend the requirements and the proposals and the opinions from every sector, not only of the political life, but also from the cultural, academic, and religious way, from the commerce, from workers' union, from different sectors of the economy, from the joint power, from the people, from the citizens, from that follow from their homes this process, and also participate in the work meetings. We've been summoned through 9 rounds of dialogues. We continue the task of listening to everyone in a process that was hard. So I request an applause for the Dialogue Commission of the National Assembly that work with strength without looking to political ideologies, but only when one interest to the Venezuelan country thrive. In this process, we plant ourselves to wider, to make more inclusive what we already have initiated, and that ends to a document that has been signed with the Barbados Agreement. It wasn't the first attempt to get together to the factors, the fractions, to make the proposals so the field will be painted and every single one of you will be comfortable, including and with enough warranty to participate in electoral processes. In September 2020, a document was signed with different political factors that led us to parliamentary elections of 2020 that allowed the re-election of the administrative power of Venezuela. In 2021, we produced dialogues, conversation, discussions, negotiations that led us to the direction of this National Council, Electoral National Council, and the organizations with enough guarantees of this event electoral on December on 2021 that was where mayors and governors were elected of the 35 municipalities. But now we've carried out the summit in a more inclusive way. So we have the signatures of the most important sectors in the religion of Venezuela, from businesswomen and businessmen, from countryside men and women, and the sign of 52 different political parties that are representing the 84% of the popular poll if we attend the result of the last elections that we had in Venezuela. The 84%, but also are the 97% of the total of the political parties that have been duly legalized in the National Electoral Council by three principles of dialogue in basic terms. The first, the general principle of the presidential elections of the 2024, and we're here today, deputies, directors from the Electoral Power, the representatives of the National Electoral Council, that always with the discretion and with the due silence are coming with incredible word, making envy the worldwide. So you are the best electoral system of this world. And we're here and listened these voices that seek through waves of lies to change what in an unavoidable way we have as the curse of history. Do you remember that we said in January there's not going to be elections? Maduro, it won't summit the elections. They're going to suspend the elections. But if someone has represented a real record of respect from the lapses that are being put in the Constitution to summit elections from any kind, if someone had respect, that process is in this room right now. Others are not participating, and they're always playing with different agendas. But here, there's only one people, the democracy people, an agenda that's seeking to respect the people's voice, and as usual, the voice of people. The general principles: respect to our sovereignty, and to reject any kind of ingerency in the electoral process in Venezuela. We repudiate the coercive unilateral measures and sanctions from foreign potencies, from foreign countries that are attempting to crook the cause of the people of Venezuela, with a little bit of successful, but they're trying. The respect of our independence and our institution, and they're making lies that the Electoral Assembly of Venezuela is trying to substitute the function of the Electoral General Council. Others are attacking the electoral power. Others are attacking the decisions that the Supreme Court of Justice and the executive power and the National Assembly through the legal tools that end the electoral power, that according to this constitution is the only public power, the only entity from the Venezuelan state that is duly legalized to organize and deploy the service of the electoral process and to make real the process of electoral. These commissions, the dialogue board, is proposing the general principles, but mainly our disposition to respect as a whole the decision of the General Council that is taken from now to the glorious night that the result of the poll and point out the irreversible of the candidate that is being elected. We respect now and we respect then all along the development of the electoral program, and we will respect, as we did always, the electoral results that from the electoral power are being getting out. The guarantees of the electoral system as wide as the ones that in a natural way the Electoral Council of Venezuela is given to the voters is not a goodbye. No, it's not false modesty. There is no other electoral system as ours, not more efficient. There is no more trustworthy system than ours, that Venezuelan system. And third, President, the gossip that everyone is talking about. When are going to be the elections? When? The president elections. That we already know the year there's going to be performed the elections. But I'm going to tell you when we're going to make the elections. Exactly the day that the National Electoral Council determined the exact date, based in the technical criteria and the planning from the directory through their organisms and mechanisms from the National Electoral Board and the Commission of Political Participation, and to highlight, and from here will be the result. We have 27 different proposals of dates from everyone. Some of them propose to make April, May 1st, even I think is a Wednesday. But everyone proposed different possibilities, and all of them were included in this proposal to the consideration of the National Electoral Council from this month to the next one. So, in a way, the National Electoral Council can evaluate the voice that want to add proposals to this round of dialogues. That is a luxury, this dialogue commission of National Assembly. We're waiting that this document is being evaluated, that we can catalog as a historical document, that you can review what is content in this document, and you set the table for the electoral party gets activated, that for a country as ours that likes to elect, that likes to choose, that like to make decisions, that don't like that others try to make choices for them, gets into the elections massively to the electoral polls and to elect the president of the Republic of Venezuela, Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, for the period 2025-2030. So we're waiting for that, and we're feeling that in the street. This year we can feel that this is an electoral year, and that this year, against any ideas, as usual, the people of Venezuela will pick its president, and the mechanisms of the polls mechanism will say the only truth that we need to respect: the voice of the people, the voice of God. Thank you very much.
Bien, escuchábamos las palabras del presidente del Parlamento venezolano, el doctor Jorge Rodríguez, precisamente en lo que se refería a la propuesta de este acuerdo nacional que se entrega el día de hoy ante las autoridades.
We were live in Venezuela. We were listening to Jorge Rodriguez, President of the National Assembly, as he was presenting the proposal of the National Assembly for this election year, for this election calendar, ahead of the elections that will take place in Venezuela in the year 2024.